This is like pro and con for sure, but it's in between. You get me? That's why I'm 50-50. Cheers to 5 years? Question mark. Yeah, it's lit. It's lit. It's lit. Welcome and hello to I'm Just Sharing with Shonda. I'm Shonda, and it's a party. If you see in the YouTube, I have my lights on party mode because I am celebrating 5 years at my job. I'm Shonda. Did I already say that this is I'm Just Sharing with Shonda, and this is my eighth episode now, and I'm definitely gonna party on my 10th, so wait for that. But yeah, um, this podcast is about my profound experiences that I had with my customers and how they just those experiences, how they affect me inside and outside of the workplace. But I'm lit, y'all, so I'm gonna get to that later. But hold on, let me change my lights. But I did just want to go into, if you are watching on YouTube, I have a new book here, my little set design. I'm going to put out every book that I'm currently reading right now. So I'm finished Atomic Habits, great book, highly recommend. And now I'm on This Here Flesh by Cole Arthur Riley. Good book, very good book so far. I am not complaining. It has really moved me. But let me just hop right into what I am going to get into. Okay, so I guess it's not really going to be my random thought, but actually, no, my thought was, when I found out that it was my 5 years, I my question to myself was, should I be sad or happy that I hit my 5 years at my job? And it was just very interesting, all the emotions and the feelings and the experiences that ran through my mind when I thought about it. And I was just like, yeah, I'm in between. Definitely a 50-50, right in the middle of happy, sad. Definitely happy that, I have a job, and this job has given me a lot of things, mostly like problem solving skills. That's like the top thing. I'm really happy that I can like find out things and give, my customers and my employees and myself just solutions to things, because it's just a huge pat on the back and such a big accomplishment once I do something and I'm just like, yes, filled, fulfilled. And it's a good feeling that just rolls into great communication. I've had to explain things multiple times in many different ways and break down things and just, either verbally, through email. I get very excited the way how I can quote unquote dumb things down for customers. No offense to the customers, because sometimes they just don't get it the first time. And I feel like I'm explaining it in the best way possible. But I have like a lot of customers that like just assume, like, once it's numbers involved, they're just like, no. They can't take it. So I was like, all right, let me break down a smaller number for you, I guess. I don't know. I try to help as much as possible when it comes to breaking things down. But communication was like huge with them. And then another big one is just relationships. I've definitely had very interesting relationships with customers, having a really figuring out the manager friend relationship between employees. And then at a time, of course, there's work relationships. I really do like my other managers that are out there, and shout out to my district manager, who they just get the job done and all about goals. Sometimes that's a con too, because, again, sales representatives, managers, we got things to meet, and that's pressure on my higher ups, that's pressure on my district manager, it's pressure on us. But as they say, pressure makes diamonds. So I've definitely been feeling good about where I'm at, for sure. Besides that, of course, there are other relationships a while ago, how they say don't, you know, mingle with other coworkers that have happened. So like that's pretty interesting of those kind of relationships that form. So being at this job has definitely molded me in many ways, but I'm definitely growing. And that is what this job is all about. It is about growth when you get into an industry like this. And I want to grow, past this for sure. I want to grow like either with the company or outside the company. Definitely looking more towards outside the company because I just see myself somewhere else. But right now, it's been pretty good. No complaints. Lies. Definitely, there are some. There are some. So that just goes into, I want to say the con part about this job. The Oh, right. Before I move on to the con, another is for pro is seeing my employees like grow. There is like a pat on the back and definitely like accomplishment when I have my employees just doing their own thing, taking matters in their own hands, keeping their goals in mind, and, not have me be on their back all the time about it. So when I tell my employees to send me updates 12:05 p.m. and close, where we are in numbers. And when I see on my day off that we're doing good, then I'm like, okay, they're doing what they're supposed to. They're not just sitting around and being, you know, in their phones or just distracted, that they are trying, for what they need to accomplish. And that's just huge. So like even when I'm there, I like to hear them talk and pitch things and maximize sales like they're supposed to. And I think every manager, like you're like my little pupil, and now you can like spread your wings and fly because like the job does offer promotions in a way. You can become like a rep to a manager to district manager, and who knows beyond that. I mean, there are definitely a title above that, but like from those, I just know that those are like top tier, top notch. But even as a rep, that's something too of a responsibility when I'm not there. If there's like a new hire that comes into the door, and I'm not there, my rep is also like, hey, I gotta like show you something. I need to teach you something so you can catch on to this, that type of deal. So that's something, a pride to take in watching them. So it's pretty cool. Now moving on to the cons of why I feel sad about it. Just it's the ups and downs relationships that I have with my customers and some employees. Not currently, I'm just saying like some employees. It's just very hard to establish what we got going on now and what's going to be accepted in the future. Again, you start off fresh and then it gets rocky. It's a relationship. Not everything is going to be perfect, but it's all about working out those kinks. We're all about working out kinks. I'm that type of person. I'm a nice person. I want to work with you. You want to work with me. You don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere. So let's work it out. So I recently had customers that came into the door, haven't seen them in a while, and they were like, yeah, we want to go. We want to go to a different company. And I asked why. And he was just like, well, we're older, we're seniors, we don't have this money to kick out anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, let me get into your account. Let me see what I can do for you. Then we talk. Of course, advertisements, there's new phones, there's free phones. Let's go for it. And, just explaining all the stuff that what they're currently paying now it's going to be a tad little bit more with a new phone. And then we talked about TV services, and the customer, the husband was just so into the TV. He's like, hold on, wait, this is a good part. I'm like, you don't got this set up at home? Let me set it up for you now. And they just stopped and it was like, you're very knowledgeable and we appreciate you. They always tell me, most of my customers tell me about experiences that they have at different stores, and it's not the same, but they still go because, the convenience of it being closer or where they're at, it's just convenient because it's right there. And I guess they forget about the experiences that they had with me and just assume that it's going to be the same here, at just the same as like at a different store. It's no. And when they come in and they're reminded of my warmth and friendliness and me being specific and very knowledgeable about the stuff that they're getting into, they really appreciate it. And it was like, I like you, we're going to come back. And I'm like, do that. Like, I would rather you work with me than you go through a whole thing with another person. It's all about relationships. I'm here. Call me. I'm not giving you my personal number, but the store number on my days when I am here. Call me about anything. I'm happy to help. Again, with my feelings, it's not always going to be a great day, but I still take the time because there is one customer that always comes in and it's just a perfect conversation, perfect transaction, just a perfect vibe that gets me out of my mood sometimes. So like, I think with those particular customers that came in store that I got to like get them to stay was just nothing but greatness. And then they said that they were going to come back. So looking to have a sale with that, and that's some exciting stuff. So those are relationships that are good. The other ones that are my down ones, the people who is just that one lady, haven't seen her in a bit, but I know she's coming back because there's always something with a phone. There's always something with a bill. There's always something with a person. So they're going to come see me for that. And I always just try to prepare myself for those. I try not to let it get me in a rut. But this is the job. I know that I can turn people away. I know that. I know that I can be like, you know what, I'm not helping you today. Go somewhere else, call customer service. And I'm just not that person. Because what a lot of people always come to me about, and this is sad because all the customers that come in, if they don't see me, they don't come in at all. So that means they don't trust my team. They trust my team if I'm there. Like if I'm in store physically, all right, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna wait for her. But I'm like, you can start with him and I'm an earshot out. He's got it. Trust them. Trust my team. But when I'm not there, they just rather not. They rather not even try. So that's understandable. But what they like about me is that I try. I don't just like leave them in the dust. I don't leave them behind. I am that person, like, even though it irritates me and I set myself up like, you got it and you have the options, I give the solutions. On the days that I don't want to help, I give them solutions and be like, here you go. But when I do have that time to help them and probably be on the phone with customer service or whatever for hours, I'm there. And I give them some type of result. Even when there is no result, they're still happy that I tried and they appreciate that. So that's a huge, huge thing. It's up and down when I get myself in those situations, but yeah, it's pretty interesting the way how that goes. Another is, again, keeping up that relationships. It's a con because it's very hard for me to keep up that relationship. So I don't want nothing to do with some customers. And it's a lot of energy to do so. It's a lot of energy that you have to put up there to just keep up relationships for people to come back. And yeah, it's all this is like pro and con for sure, but it's in between. You get me? That's why I'm 50-50. Cheers to 5 years. Question mark. Yeah. One more con is that every day is like repetitive. It is a wake up, a drive, I open the door, disarm the alarm, open up the register, put out the tablets, wait. Maybe get a sale here and there, get some customers complain, have people complain about service issues, wait, wait, wait. Then go home. I try to, with my higher ups, knowing that we need sales, there are things that we can do as downtime. And I will be setting up myself for hours to just be on the phone and emailing. With me finishing Atomic Habits, that's definitely helping that me just putting something in front of me to get things done. And it's physically there. I know that I can. So I'm excited for that for sure. And that's going to change up some things. And that's just going to put me in the mindset of different things, doing different stuff. It's going to help. Getting out there, even though it's about to be cold, I'm still going to put myself out there. And I have a lot of people who know me. Where we are is right near like a military base, and it's all the people who come in store between two companies. Our service and another one works perfectly on the base. So the people who love me, they're gonna they're just open arms if I go over there. So I just know that I need to reach out to them to set something up. So that's just something that's exciting to do. With it all, I definitely feel like I progressed because I did start off as a rep. And I've been a manager now for like a year and a half, maybe two. And it's a huge accomplishment that I'm like staying in this job there in that position, because when you're not performing, it's, a conversation, it's then write-ups, it's then, you know what, we're going to put you back. And I don't want to see that as a setback, because definitely it's getting back into the roots that you started in. This is where you started. Sorry that you have to go back, but you forgot what it was to hustle, to work hard, and that shows, in numbers and your team, stuff like that. So when I see myself and still being in this position, I have to prove to myself I can't, and I won't go back as a rep. It's not is that the word, diminishing, demoting? It's demoting, but like it feels. I feel lower if I did go back into that position. So it's nothing but up and up from there. And I think that leads me to say, when it comes to loyalty with this company, I am just celebrating 5 years as a decade. And it makes me think about, when I was in school and people say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? My answer to one of my like physics teachers was, I don't know, maybe we could be dead. Who knows? Like I don't know. And he was like, fair answer, fair answer. And then now knowing that I'm here in this position, it just, well, that was like a while ago before, you know what I mean, in this company. And 5 years in this company is just mind blowing to me. But that leads me to say that it's only been 5 years. I have people, and I know people that's been in this company 10 plus years, going on 20 maybe. Like, yeah, I'm not going to say maybe, they are. And it's just interesting to me. Those people are good at their jobs. Why not shake hands? Why not be in that friendship and have a relationship with them, because they know what they're doing. And when you know that you're good at something, you're going to stick to it. There's not just managers who've been in this company for that long. It's reps too, and they're okay with it, because they feel like they control their own paycheck, and that's awesome sauce. And the way I control my own paycheck, I just have a little bit more of a needing to make sure a store is covered and have people cover a store and all that good jazz. All the operations of running a store. And it's interesting that, the people who are comfortable in this spot is awesome. For me, I know that I can be better somewhere else. That's why I'm so 10 toes down into getting this Security Plus, because I know that I can be better in another place. This place is awesome where I'm at, here and there, 50-50. And it definitely gave me the roots and the foundation on what I need to go. And it's nothing but, I know when it comes, it's going to be like happiness, sadness, like we're losing the person, but just like everybody had a hand in molding me and creating me. There's relationships that go, or there's people who go, but they still had some type of, connection with me. And it was awesome. Shout out to Bobby. Bobby, his last name is, I'm not going to say it, but Bobby, if you're listening, you definitely had a huge hit on me, for sure. They're like really good connection. He was a really good district manager before my new one. My new one is awesome. He's just pressure, and I have to accept that. He has shoes to fill. Well, he has shoes to fill, and it's good. It's different, and district managers are different. I thought that when my new district manager came in, that he was going to be just like my old manager, and I was like, dang, no. They're not the same person. They're not the same person at all. And I don't know. I was just thinking about going back to loyalty. It made me think about the episode of The Office where Pam was doing an interview at the knockoff office, and she gave her resume, and on the resume just showed Dunder Mifflin. And what he said to her was like, "This is loyalty. Like that's loyalty. Even though it showed one job, it does show some loyalty. It's not sad. It's pretty good." And I'm like, I've got a nice foundation here, and it's pretty nice. So, cheers to 5 years. Yeah. So, gosh, wow, no. That was Think Piece, by the way. It wasn't Random Thought. Look at me mixing up my segments. But that's okay. Think Piece. That was Think Piece. That was my Think Piece. Moving on to Random Thought. And my Random Thought was I was driving. It's suicidal birds, suicidal animals. Like they know what they're doing. I was driving and going down this road, and the bird was just walking out there. And he saw, like he looked, like, saw it like a little turn, and stayed there. And I slowed down, and then it took him a while to like fly off. And I felt like as he was flying, he was like, wussy, because I didn't do it. Like, I'm not going to help you with this. I don't want to be part of this. There was a couple animals that just either flew right in the front of my car, and I wasn't speed. They just, I mean, I was going at a decent pace, but they just wanted to get it over with. It was the birds. There was a squirrel one time where he just went out there. He waited, like he was on the side and waiting for a car, and waited for my car because I was going at a nice speed, because the first car wasn't going fast enough for him. And this one just, he went out there. I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh. I like stopped. And then he just stopped and then kept on going. I'm like, okay, these birds, this squirrel. Another one was like a little fly. I've seen it. It was going to go right across. And I don't know if he like intentionally did it, but he just, like, he was going like this and then right into my eye. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. And it took me a minute. I was having a day and I saw it, and it came. It looked like it was going right past, but it went right into my eye. And I'm like, ah. And it took me a while to get him out. And I saw him still alive after, like, I was poking and blinking and poking, and I had to flick him off. I'm like, I don't, had to flick a bug off my finger because I just wasn't understanding. And this was like like, I don't know. It was just in a matter of like days, because the bird happened. I wanted to say like, I don't even know the dates, but it was just still a whole week of animals just not wanting to be here anymore. And I was like, do y'all know something that I don't know? Because if you do, let me know. Like, let me know. My last segment is appreciating the little things, and I appreciate compliments. I don't get them myself from random people. It's rare when that happens. I was out at a bar with my friend one time, and they said that I looked like a certain person I'd never seen before. They was like, she's just gorgeous, she's lovely, she's awesome. And I'm like, okay, great. And it was awesome taking that compliment. And then I have all my customers who come in and say, you look like Simone Biles. If somebody can like say, oh yeah, and shout out to the hair, I did my hair. Did my hair by myself. I always do it. But they say that I look like Simone Biles. And they was like, they never get her name right, but they was like, you look like that gymnast. And I'm like, Simone Biles. I was like, I hear it so often. So like, if somebody can tell me, they say like when I smile, I look like her. So if you saw on the YouTube, I definitely just smiled. And if you see it, please let me know. Please leave a comment. Or if you relate to any of these things, just comment or email me. But with a compliment that I gave recently, I was at Barnes and Nobles, and I was waiting to get help. And this woman that was in front, she was getting help to find a book, and she was just like leaning on the desk, and the other woman was like behind the counter, and she was leaning on the desk, and it took her a while, but they had to end up leaving. Before she left, I was like, excuse me, before you go, I was like, is that new? Is that a new ring on your finger? And she's like, oh yes, because I noticed that it was shiny. It was on the left. I'm like, and she doesn't have the second ring underneath of it. You know what it is. But the first one, the engagement ring, it was a rock with diamonds around at the bottom. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I said, is that new? She said, yes. Oh, and I was like, yeah, congratulations. Like it looks I just wanted you to know that, like, congratulations, and you look great and you're like shining. And she was like, thank you. Like, you're so sweet. And I'm like, yes, thank you. And then I had a woman that was walking past, and she said that she liked my braids. And I never know, like, I always say thank you, but I always feel obligated to, like, give another compliment back, because, like, I don't want to be the only one that just gets a compliment and not see that you are, like, special. You got on something special. You're just a special person. And I always get stuck. I'm like, oh, thank you, and then walk away. Because when you give a compliment back, they're like, all right, like, you didn't have to. But I'm like, yeah, no, I wanted you to know. I wanted you to know that, because you are a beautiful person, and thank you for complimenting my fingernails. Like, it would be the most simplest thing. But this was awesome. Again, cheers again to another podcast, another, maybe, I was going to say 5 years to come. I want to continue doing this. But man, I thank everybody for watching. I thank everybody for listening. I thank everybody for comment, and subscribing, for, now or in the future, either or. I'm happy. Please follow me on my socials at I'm Just Sharing with Shonda on Instagram. Listen to me on Apple and Spotify, and email me at imjustsharingpod@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Yes. Peace.